How you doing, brother?
Good.
See you. How are those ribs?
Oh, they were great. Did you have some?
No, I live vicariously through you. I didn't get down there. Did they have a decent crowd?
Oh, it's packed.
So what band was playing when you went?
He's the old 70 band.
Initials? By Million?
You mean a local band?
Home record?
No. A big band from the 70s was playing.
Oh.
Where's this one? The Rib-On? Grand Funk.
Grand Funk.
Yeah.
That was good then.
Yeah, that's good music.
They had Greg Frost was from Bob Seger was playing the keyboards, and then they had some drummer for some other band was playing.
Yeah, no, I read that. They've all been with big bands for a long time. Well, most of them do play with Seeger's band.
One of my guys went there the day before and he tried every rib, so I called him and said, "Which one's the best one?" Because I'm only eat once.
Yeah.
So he pointed me to this. I forget the hell the name of it. Uncle somebody.
Okay.
Come on now.
Yeah. There were like 5 pilots who started doing it.
Everybody
Pilots?
really missing one of
They
their
do it on their spare time.
Yeah.
They're missing this.
Oh, nice.
You're good? Thank you. All right. We're going to call to order the special meeting, the Board of Zoning Appeals for Sylvania Township. Roll call, please.
Mr. Golden?
Here.
Mr. Schlachter?
Here.
Mr. Helper?
Here.
Mr. Miller?
Here.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes, here.
Okay, and I get a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting on August 3rd, or if there's any corrections or changes, I'd like to hear those.
I'll make a motion to that effect.
Second.
Mr. Golden?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Schlachter?
Yes?
Mr. Helper?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Okay, is there any old business that anybody has? Then we'll go on to new business. And before we get started, I'm going to ask anybody that might be stating anything today, giving any testimony on the record, please raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. So, the first matter we have is a variance request for a side building setback for 10 feet required to a 6-foot provided for the property located at 5008 Colgate Road in the rear. And can we get the staff report, please?
Yes. The subject property is a separate parcel at the rear of 5008 Colgate Road and fronts onto Lasky Road. The property is currently owned and used by the applicant, Columbia Gas of Ohio, as a regulator station. The applicant wishes to erect a 24-foot by 29-foot gas regulator building to house the gas metering and regulation equipment 6 feet from the east side property line. This setback would be more than the minimum 3-foot side setback normally required for an accessory building. However, an accessory building must be subordinate to the principal building on the lot. In this case, the regulator building is the principal building and therefore must adhere to the development standards for the respective zone district. Section 703 of the Sylvania Township zoning resolution dictates a 10-foot side setback for lots designated RA suburban residential. The applicant's letter of intent incorrectly identifies the property as A4 rural residential, which requires a 12-foot side setback. Nevertheless, the request to provide a side setback of 6 feet warrants a variance from the Sylvania Township zoning resolution. The request represents a variance of 4 feet. The proposed building meets all other setback requirements. The applicant intends to also erect a smaller 8-foot by 8-foot building on the west side of the lot. This would be considered an accessory building, and the proposed location meets all setback requirements. Both buildings will require zoning permits. Sylvania Township zoning staff recommends approval of the requested setback variance for the following reasons. While there's no specific hardship or exceptional difficulty warranting the requested variance, this case is unique in that it features an unusual use of a residential property. The regulating equipment is existing and not movable. The regulator building needs to encompass the regulating equipment, and thus site options for the building are limited. Secondly, the regulator building is the principal building on this property only because of the absence of a true principal building such as a dwelling or commercial building. Under more normal circumstances, this building would be considered an accessory building, much like a detached garage or pole barn. For these accessory buildings, the required minimum side setback is only 3 feet. Thirdly, the applicant contends that some large trees would have to be removed in order to site the building according to zoning regulations. Staff feels that these trees would provide screening between the public utility use and the neighboring residential use. And lastly, staff recognizes that the new building would be better aesthetically in a semi-residential neighborhood than the unsheltered existing equipment, and that the proposed building would pose no substantial detriment to the public good.
Okay. And I think you noted, I just want for the record, I think on their application, they thought they were exempt. I thought that was kind of interesting, so, but they're not. So they do need to be doing this.
I consulted our legal counsel on that a few weeks ago, and his opinion was that while we can't regulate the use of the property as far as for a public utility, that they still need to adhere to any development standards such as setbacks.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So what they put on there still has to comply. Okay, I was curious about that. Anybody have any questions so far, or at all? Sure.
Now, that's a garage there next to it, I take it. Is that a house there?
Yes, that's actually also 5008 Colgate.
People living there?
Yes.
Okay.
Jump back.
That's actually a newer house. It's not as old. That was actually built after, I think, the garage was there.
So are they going to get into that garage?
Well, Columbia Gas isn't using that garage. The garage belongs to the resident.
I understand that, but is that building going to take part of that garage out? No.
No, the building will be on the east side of the lot.
Okay.
Okay. Is there anybody here to speak on behalf of this matter?
There is not.
Okay, nobody in opposition, nobody, okay.
You did the regular notice,
Yes.
so the property owners to the east are all noticed?
Okay. Any other questions or comments? So really, normally the garage would be sort of thought of as an accessory building, but
Right.
that's the only building, so, okay. Any questions? Okay, ready for a motion?
Make a motion to approve the variance request for a side yard building setback from 10 feet required to 6 feet provided for the property located at 5008 Colgate Road, rear, parcel number 78-50831.
Second.
Mr. Schweitzer?
Yes.
Mr. Wood?
Yes.
Mr. Bowman?
Yes.
Mr. Hilder?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Great. I imagine neighbors are happy we don't have to take any trees out. Okay.
Probably an unsightly thing, and now we're
Right.
going to enclose it, so.
Right.
maybe
Yeah,
make
I
it look
guess.
nice.
Okay, next we have a conditional use request for a restricted manufacturing use in an M2 zone district for the property located at 3840 Her Road. And the staff report, please.
Subject property is zoned M2 Restricted Industrial. Oddly enough, restricted manufacturing is a conditional use, not a permitted use in an M2 zone district. The M2 designation is intended primarily for uses of a research, development, testing nature that does not involve the manufacture or sale of products. The applicant, Midwest Security Products, a provider of high-security systems, has been operating a light industrial facility at this location since May of 2000, but no conditional use was ever applied or granted. The applicant intends to construct an additional building on the premises and has already been through project plan review with the relevant Sylvania Township and Lucas County agencies. It is this latest proposed plan that brought the lack of a conditional use to light. The new building will incorporate primarily the same uses as the existing building and should present no additional adverse effects on the surrounding properties. Sylvania Township zoning staff recommends approval of the requested conditional use. This case has brought forth an inconsistency in the zoning resolution. The title of the zone district is restricted industrial. The stated purpose of M2 is to provide areas for light industrial uses with restricted manufacturing operations. However, restricted manufacturing is not a permitted use but a conditional use. This article of the zoning resolution warrants review of intent and terminology. Staff finds that the request is consistent with the stated purpose of Section 1700 of the zoning resolution and that the use is in harmony with the existing uses and character of the surrounding area.
Are these two buildings attached?
No. Well, the second one hasn't been built yet.
No, is that the,
The second one has not been built.
Right, but it's not-
There will be a cost with it.
Right.
A small home.
How big is the addition?
The addition is about 18,000 square feet. We currently have 14,000 square feet, the original building is 4.
Going to be adding additional employees?
A few, we have.
Hang on, if we're going to do this, we'll need you, and you also, I don't think we swear you in. I didn't see a hand go up. So we'll ask you to go to the podium, please, and sign in. And then we can get the info we need. I'll ask you to raise your right hand,
Sure.
please. Okay, do you swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth to the best of your knowledge?
I do.
Thank you. Okay.
So there's no conditional use on this today?
Right, for even what's there, yeah. Not even so much even standing.
No.
I don't know if I fully understand that.
Either just got in and got by. It's not the first or the last, probably, unfortunately. Okay, Dan, you had a question, please?
State your name and,
What's that?
want to state your name for the record?
Oh, my name is Douglas Schoenrock.
You're the builder or you're the?
I am the owner of Midwest Security Products. My wife, Marianne, her trust is the owner of the property.
My question was, are you going to be adding employees?
We have been steadily adding employees for the last year or two. We're a little bubbling over in our current space. So I think the main process is going to be we're going to expand square footage and probably relocate some of our current employees to the back. I would imagine over time we'll be adding some new ones as well, but right now it's just more of a spreading out thing. We have a real warehousing need is our real challenge right now. Just you need square footage for warehousing.
Is the building, the new building exterior going to kind of look like that one, or?
Yeah, it should look almost identical to that. It's going to be a different structure. It's going to be a engineered steel building on the inside, and then we're going to wrap it in block, so it'll look just like that current building. Most likely have a metal roof on it instead of a shingle roof, and we may go back and redo the roof on the front building to match eventually. I don't know exactly when that'll happen, but
How old's the original building roughly?
15 years, yeah.
I don't see any outside storage or things like that on the site plan. Is that still the
No,
plan?
nope, we have no plans to do any outside storage. We do have a little outside storage there right now because we're out of space, and that's the plan, is to get that off the property and get it inside.
What kind of work do you do there?
We are a high security solution provider. So we do a lot of lock and key work, we do a lot of door hardware work, some doors and frames, but it is a very niche business in the security business. Been doing it for 30 years, 15 of which at this location.
I'm glad you're expanding.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
yeah, it's great to
a
hear.
little faster than we were hoping. It's going a little crazy right now.
Any other questions?
So right now, there's a natural barrier in front of the, you have pine trees out in front of your property.
There's a number of pine trees and there's a number of landscape hills that's all part of the original setback, which is stated in the regulations on the property. So that's already in place. The pond that you see on the drawing was really put there as, to handle some of the drainage and so forth. We spend a lot of effort on landscaping there, so we're going to be irrigating the entire property when we're done and using the pond to do that back there. It's somewhat of a low area, and there's some flood issues in that area when we're not in the 100-year plain, but we're within a stone's throw of it, so that pond will come in handy to contain a lot of the area water.
Good to hear.
Any other questions or comments?
Nope.
We ready for a motion?
Yeah, I think so.
So this is, I guess, so everybody understand what we're, really here, it's the conditional use.
Right.
Okay.
I'll make a motion. Is there any opposition? Did you call?
Yeah, is there anyone else here to speak on behalf of this matter? And this will, obviously, for everything that's being operated there.
I'm sorry?
It's, the use is going to be for everything operated on the property.
Right.
Existing and the proposed. Okay.
I'll make a motion for the conditional use request for restricted manufacturing use in an M2 zone district for the property located at 3840 Her Road, parcel number 79755513.
Second.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Bowman?
Yes.
Mr. Slaughter?
Yes.
Yes. All right, continued success there.
You do a nice job keeping that facility up, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you familiar with that area?
Yep. I have kids at Timberstone, so I wear her road out. But you do a nice job. And you've got those nice residential houses across the street, and it's...
We're very conscious of our environment out there. We strive hard to keep it.
You're a good neighbor.
Yeah, that is good. Well, thanks again. Okay, I think that's our time for the next applicant. An additional fee will buy you kind of like a payphone. All right, we have one more thing on variance request for reduction in the front yard setback from 120 feet required to 114.8 feet provided for the property located at 3130 Central Park West. Staff report, please.
The applicant is seeking a variance to Section 2222 of the Sylvania Township zoning resolution requiring that the construction, reconstruction, or enlargement of any structure shall not be permitted closer to the center line of the right-of-way and shall meet the required setback of 120 feet on Central Avenue. The requested variance is for 5 feet 4 inches in order to align a proposed building addition with the existing building 114 feet 8 inches from the center line of Central Avenue. Current office building at 3130 Central Park West measures just under 15,000 square feet and was constructed in 1988 before the 120-foot setback from center line of Central Avenue was in the zoning resolution. The adjoining property at 6546 Central Avenue had contained a car wash and a few flex buildings. The applicant recently demolished the car wash in those buildings and is in the process of combining the two parcels. The applicant plans to build 2 additions to the existing building, one on the front east side and the other on the rear east side. These additions will add 14,520 square feet to the building. The proposed new building would then form a block letter C, is the addition on the front that generates this variance request. The applicant feels that the variance would allow for an aesthetically pleasing project that will be consistent with other properties in the area. Sylvania Township zoning staff recommends approval of the requested variance. There is no hardship or special circumstance that would prevent the building addition from being constructed in compliance with the requirements of the zoning resolution. However, the 5-foot variance represents less than 5% of the 120-foot setback requirement. Staff feels that that variance is not substantial in comparison with the aesthetic advantage to having the front of the building addition squared with the front of the existing building.
Okay. Any questions yet, or comments? Everybody clear on what we're doing here? Okay,
You're gonna tie that building into that other building?
hang on. If we're going to do that, then all right.
Okay, I got it.
No, that's fine. Okay, if somebody here to speak on this matter, please sign in and tell us your name.
Jim Schwarkowski, JLS Real Estate Industries, 2927 North McCord. We are the owner of both parcels and have been sworn in. Yes, Mr. Hayes, I don't know, Darrell, do you have a picture of what the building looks like today, the elevation change we made?
The current building looks,
Yeah, because that's.
Well, the front, we went to a drive-it finish, so to make it simple, it'll look like one continuously new building, that was the goal.
Okay.
Can you go to the site plan, Darrell?
sure. That one?
Yeah. Can you just walk us through ingress and egress,
Sure,
how that works with
sure.
this addition?
Actually, we were hoping to, initially, we planned on going to preliminary site plan review before we came to this hearing, but now we're having that Wednesday. I actually haven't used one of these.
Do you have the pointer?
I have a pointer,
All
but they're
right.
green now, I see those are taking down airplanes.
Get out of your way here.
Black tie, guys. Sure I do. Oh, well, maybe I don't.
Well, I've got the mouse arrow.
Thank
I
you.
can.
Show us, could you show us the end drives? Currently, the car wash has two bidirectional driveways that were utilized as and separate in and out,
Right.
primarily for the car wash, the way it was designed. We voluntarily closed the westernmost driveway on this proposed plan and kept the east driveway as an in only. And the plan is to have traffic as it comes in to go along the eastern border, one-way traffic there, and then we'll exit to the west, an existing curb cut on Central Park West. Out front, there's currently parking in front of the building on the west, the Central Park West Rehab Building, and we, on the south side, there's currently parking. We chose to abandon that and have green space there, basically because we didn't want to have circulation issues with the
Right.
traffic pattern, and to aesthetically make it more pleasing. You know, as we've heard over the years, Savannah Township on Central Avenue between McCord and Central, it's always been considered too late to do anything to beautify that neighborhood. It's all built out, and this is an opportunity to bring in some green space and maybe clean up some curb cuts and circulation and still add commerce to the community.
So in this addition that front central, the 5800, will you have a main entry facing central, or do you envision it being back around the side?
In reality, that'll be aesthetic.
Okay.
The real traffic will be in the back. So the building will actually have, normally I would say 4 fronts, but it'll have, in essence, 6 or 7 fronts, because it'll be the same look all the way around,
Right.
including the up and down lighting and enhanced landscaping. We can only do so much with the landscaping on the west. There's only about 1.5 feet there, but we do want to clean up the back. I figure we will be scrubbing that in site plan review a little bit on Wednesday.
I think gotta clean that up area real nice.
If you recall, the initial building built on the site was built, I don't know how long ago, but it probably was the 50s. It was Craig Electric and Clyde Schaefer, and he built that in about 4 phases. And the youngest of those phases is probably about 30 years old. The car wash was built in 2000, was successful for a couple of years until the barrier went down Central Avenue and then went to unsuccessful. Lost about 40% of its business. And some others were built. I found out tonight the one down around the corner is going down, and we have a new one going 2 doors west, so maybe timing isn't the greatest, but it's not what we do. We do nothing but suburban office buildings, and
Have you
We
removed
feel
all the
comfortable.
buildings in the back now, Jim?
we have not removed those buildings yet. We-
Those are coming down now?
Yes, yes. Thank you for asking. What hasn't fallen down will come down.
Any plans for the signage that's currently there?
Yes, there's no current plan. It should be shown on the plan. That was one of the comments back we received late this afternoon. We're leaving that up to a new potential tenant because we are on a corner. There should be signage opportunities, but that'll be a separate application. I do believe that the current signage fits within the Central Avenue overlay setbacks. It's one reason we didn't really demolish it. Somebody may want to use that foundation and wiring.
So, and I guess everyone else will understand, we're dealing with, we're considered a corner here.
Yes.
So we've got multiple fronts.
And that existing signage on the west building on the corner is also used in conjunction for the 3 rear buildings in Central Park West, the office part.
Okay.
It'll be driven by tenant needs.
Well, is there actually going to be, maybe I'm repeating what Tim asked, on the south side, will there actually be an entrance there? I mean, there's some parking right there.
There's an existing entrance, and you can see it. ODOT has already preliminarily given us approval.
I guess I
Yes.
meant building entrance. Yeah, you have a curb cut.
There's no building entrance on the, well, there is a building entrance on the south side, but it'll be more of an aesthetic feature. It'll be more or less the second way out of the building that's that
It
size.
probably looks like fire exit.
We considered doing just fire exits and landscaping, but then it starts to look a little homely again, really. I mean, this way we get the peaked entrances, and if somebody wanted quasi-retail, we could do it. However, there's no parking in front of the door and going in. It won't work.
Right. So we really, in this
More
case,
for aesthetics.
it is a technical front yard, but this
Yeah.
is really not the practical front yard of the building. Just so everybody knows, yeah. Okay. Any other questions so far?
No.
Is there anyone else here who would like to speak on this matter? Anything related to this case?
It's
Well,
on the shaky side.
I mean, it's up to you if you want to, this is now your, if you want to, anybody wants to say anything, come on up, please. Oh, is this just between, you want, okay.
Well, I mean, it's part of this issue, but, my name's Darren Davis. I'll say.
Okay, thank you. No, I understand. We can pick that up.
And, the big question is the setback from Central Avenue to north is what?
The,
120 feet?
Is that what he's
The
talking
requirement is 120 feet from center line of Central to the front of the building. It could be greater than 120, but
But at minimum,
the requirement is...
and he's
minimum.
providing just under 115.
But how much is ODOT gonna take out of this new ramp project of that? And then what would it be, because it would be a state route?
Well, I don't know that there's anything that's, I'm not aware of anything that's on record yet for this. I mean, I don't know that we're taking action on something hasn't been We can only take action on what's here and now. So I'm not aware of any of that, anything being, that we need to be waiting on, or we haven't gotten really any notification that
No.
we need to wait and hear. So I don't have an answer for you on that. Yeah, I don't know what'll happen with that unless.
I do have the ODOT plans in my office. I can run over right now and get them. I don't believe that far west on Central it's really changing much, but
Yeah,
give me a moment, I
Okay.
can grab that.
that seems pretty far from there. I don't know.
And the ODOT engineer was the first feedback we received on the site. They were okay with the right-in, built to their specifications on their road. And
Is that even what they propose? I mean, that there won't be.
I volunteered.
Right.
When we built the car wash, we had a difficult time keeping both driveways open to begin with as an in and out.
Right.
Same engineers at ODOT, so he remembers it, but he was, I believe, grateful just to get one more curb cut off Central Avenue
Oh, of course.
and totally eliminate bi-directional traffic, space that close to the traffic lights, signalization.
So it would not be anything affiliated with Joe Genetton's piece? It would be
Now, what's the,
his building kind of
Straightens out by
around,
Oh, it doesn't change anything?
everything would be beyond the west point.
yes. And the old building was there forever.
Wasn't aware of this
Right, Craig Electric.
But yeah, it stops, so it doesn't, okay.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Well, at least what we've seen here, and we're happy to show it to you, but yeah, it stops short of what the plans that they are proposing, it won't impact where this property is. So they're not going to take any more, which is a good question that you're raising. Are we voting on something here that's going to be all different? Yeah, looks like it stops short of that. See the light? That's a big change.
Have you seen those plans before?
I have not seen those.
I know there was. I mean, so who was going?
Yeah.
Never been in the paper.
Well,
I didn't hear the details, so I knew
That's
that.
quite an undertaking there.
Yeah.
That thing's gonna be total for years.
Parking is, even though he's adding, he's way over code. Substantially, 148 proposed spots and only 75.
Yeah.
I don't even know. It must be neighbors. Must be neighbors, I don't know. I have no idea where they are. Okay.
You ready, Todd?
Yep. Any other questions or comments? Folks, anything else? If not, we ready to entertain a motion if there is one.
I'd like to make a motion, we grant the variance request for reduction of front yard setbacks from 120 feet to 114 feet 8 inches, provided for the property located at 3130 Central Avenue, Central Park West, parcel 78-34907.
Second.
Mr. Bowman?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Schweitzer?
Yes.
Mr. Hooper?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, any other, that's old business, new business, any other business, show business? If not, I have a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Take your pick.
I'll second it,
Both
every
ends.
motion, so we're gonna keep it.
Mr. Boland?
Yes.
Nicer.
Mr. Schweitzer?
Yes.
Mr. Hooper?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks for everybody being here.
See you, man.
That is nicely done.
So I can't bring this up, I didn't know if the minutes are actually wrong.
Take care.
See you later. Dan's marked absent on the minutes that they sent us.
Didn't say that it came out late?
All of you guys.
Didn't say it came late, yeah. So I didn't know what the protocol was that, because he came
Well-
late, but
Right, because he's
he missed
listed
the
on the
first,
vote.
no, he came in the first.
Yes, he did, yeah, he did. He missed roll call.
Yeah.
Which why he would have been absent. Well, I was good. On the last minutes, because a roll call, Dan was not here, but then he did come in for vote. Should we footnote that? Oh, okay.
Oh, was that-
So that's, yeah, because he was absent, we did roll call, yeah, so she did it right. And then you're- Okay.
Here we are.
Well, he voted himself, so he definitely was reflecting in the minutes.
Yeah, then I give him a second to include his vote for minutes because
Look at this.
I don't have to go back and look.
Yeah.
But I did.
Yeah, I didn't know what protocol, that's why I didn't bring it up during the meeting.